Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Muscle Memory Podcast, episode 18. I am your host, Sean. Hope you guys had a great week so far. I have a great episode in store for you. Let's get right into it. All right, so starting off, we have a new World Heavyweight Champion in Gunther. He defeated Jey Uso this past Monday on Raw. Me personally, I'm happy it happened. Not that I don't like Jey Uso, I just don't think he needed to be World Heavyweight Champion. I'm glad he got his reign and he had his fun and all that. But I am glad that Gunther now has the World Heavyweight Championship again. I do think that the wrong champion was crowned in a way. I feel like this was a prime opportunity for Seth Rollins to cash in and win the World Heavyweight Championship then and there. But we can talk about what I think is going to happen with Seth Rollins later on in the episode. But Gunther is the new World Heavyweight Champion. Let me know what you guys think about that one. Where does Jey go from here? Me personally, I think the best thing to do is to keep Jey off TV for a good while. And depending on what they want to do with Jimmy and Jey, well, not Jimmy and Jey, Jimmy and Solo, and if they're going to bring Jimmy back with Solo and all that, considering that Jacob just turned on Solo, so Jacob and Solo are probably going to have their own feud. But depending on what their plan is for Jimmy, I've heard rumors that they want to put the Usos back together. I would like them to get back together as well. If they come back together as heels, great. If they come back together as faces, cool. I just want the Usos to come back together. That's what I would prefer. I feel like a lot of people in the audience would prefer that as well. Would I like to see Jim get his own singles championship, even if it's just like the US or the IC before he ends up retiring? Yes, I would. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. But if the goal is for the Usos to get back together, then so be it. I'll be a happy man. John Cena versus CM Punk has been confirmed for Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. Now, if you've watched the past episodes, you know that my original plan for the John Cena farewell tour was, while, yes, he was supposed to go against CM Punk would have been his last opponent on my bracket. Because in my brain, I'm like, okay, cool. They're not going to have him lose the belt this soon after WrestleMania. So keep him until December, have him lose the belt to Punk. And then a heel Cody or Seth Rollins or somebody who's had previous beef with CM Punk up to that point can come and take the belt off of him. Now that this match is happening at Night of Champions, part of me feels like Cena might lose the belt just for Seth Rollins to cash in that night, just to be spiteful to CM Punk. Part of me feels like Punk loses. Part of me feels like Punk wins the belt and the cash in happens there. If it doesn't happen there, I'm not really sure where he's going to go unless they move Seth Rollins to SmackDown. Don't know if that's the goal, but if he doesn't cash in there, then he's probably still looking at the World Heavyweight Championship. But yeah, it's confusing, but I'm glad that I don't know if they're going to actually pull the trigger on Seth and the Money in the Bank briefcase yet. On the opposite of that, I feel like Naomi's thing needs to be built up. I feel like Naomi needs that, she needs that really big pop when she wins her World Championship. Whereas Seth, we've already had it with him. So if he was to just cash in, it would still mean something because Seth Rollins is Seth Rollins. But, if that does not happen, if he does not cash in at Night of Champions, I do think they're going to just let him hold that briefcase for a good while until they get somebody. Until they get somebody that either takes the belt off of Cena, or until they're ready to put Gunther in the spotlight as a babyface. If Gunther is still champion by then, that's what I think is going to happen. I think Seth either takes it off of Punk if Punk beats Cena, or he waits for a good little bit and takes it off of Gunther or whoever beats Gunther. That's my thing. Sticking with Seth Rollins and his little faction that has been apparently named The Division by the fans. I kind of like the name. It's kind of basic, but it kind of fits, and it fits the character of Seth Rollins. So does Division need a fourth man? In my opinion, no, it does not. I think the trio of Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed is more than enough. I don't think they need anything else. I think they have the brains in the term of Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. They have the strength in Braun and Bronson. They don't really need much. They have the agility, they have the speed, they have numbers game. They don't really need anything else. That is a dominant faction by itself. They don't need a fourth. If they do add a fourth, if it's anybody other than Becky Lynch, I'm gonna be confused. So yeah, that's my opinion on that. Some people might think, oh, they need to put Austin Theory in. They haven't even let Austin Theory leave Grayson Waller yet, so I have no faith in that happening. But yeah, the Vision does not need a fourth man, in my opinion. And if they do put one in, I don't see anyone else but Becky Lynch being the fourth person. Speaking of Becky Lynch, Bayley has returned and has taken out Becky Lynch. This was basically her coming back. This is because the storyline was that Becky Lynch injured Bayley before WrestleMania to keep her out of that match so she could tag with Lyra, win the tag belts, and then lose them the next night, turn on Lyra, win the Intercontinental Championship. Well, now that Becky has beaten Lyra, I'm assuming her next opponent is going to be Bayley. And if Bayley came back just to lose, then I don't know what the point of this was. But props on Bayley. She looks great. She's in phenomenal shape. Hopefully they don't do her dirty again. Nikki Bella and Liv Morgan, of all people, had a segment on Raw. Nikki Bella came back apparently to hype Evolution 2, the second Evolution pay-per-view, which for those of you that don't know, Evolution is a all-women's pay-per-view. So if you've ever watched Stardom or anything of that nature, it's just straight up women's wrestling. No males, no superstars. I'm pretty sure there's not even male on commentary. Female ref, female commentators, female ring announcer, everything is female, which is cool to see. We haven't had one since 2018, I believe, which is around the last time we had a Mae Young Classic. So yeah, I'm excited to see it happen, but Nikki Bella came out to hype that up. Liv Morgan came out. They had a little bit of an exchange. Nikki kind of implied that Roxanne might be taken down from her, and then Liv called her a reality show diva. Nikki started to leave the ring, and then Liv obviously dropped her with Oblivion. So, are they going to bring Nikki Bella back for a match against Liv Morgan? Don't know. Is Nikki Bella in condition to have a match against Liv Morgan? Again, don't know. Because you got to remember, the Bellas haven't been in a ring in a good amount of time. I'm pretty sure the last time Nikki Bella was in the ring, it was in a Royal Rumble match. But Nikki Bella has not had a tag, like, Nikki Bella hasn't had a singles match in years. It would be pretty cool if they did the Bellas versus Raquel and Liv. Obviously, the Bellas would lose, but it would be cool to see nonetheless. But I'm pretty sure it's just going to be Nikki versus Liv, and then they'll probably bring Brie and Raquel as like managers or something like that. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have had her drop Nikki Bella for no reason. So watch out for that storyline. Sami Zayn has qualified for the King of the Ring by beating Braun Breaker and I believe Carmelo Hayes in a triple threat. Yeah, it was Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, and Sami Zayn. So they had a little triple threat, King of the Ring. Sami Zayn has qualified. Backstage after that, Karrion Kross has now gotten in Sami's head again. He keeps bothering Sami, keeps pestering him. Again, I want Kross to be the catalyst for Sami's heel turn, but I don't want him to be the catalyst for Sami's heel turn if the goal is just for Sami to join Seth. If you let Sami turn heel on his own and then let him win the World Championship like that, cool. But if you let him turn heel just for him to join Seth and be a lackey, then there's no point. So, yeah, Sami Zayn's in the King of the Ring. Well, qualified for King of the Ring. And now we're just waiting for everyone else. I don't know what the rest of the matches are, but come next week, I'll be able to tell you guys what happened with it. Asuka has a return. Well, Asuka hasn't returned, but her return has been announced. Raw gave a little teaser of Asuka. I don't know if she's returning next week or in a couple weeks or how immediate it is, but Asuka will be back on Raw pretty soon. So look forward to that. And finally, on the side of WWE, the other day marked a year of Hikuleo, which is the 7 foot tall Samoan that used to be in New Japan, signing with the WWE. And he has been MIA and stuck in limbo for the last year. We don't know if he's just stuck at the PC, if they just don't have any plans for him right now, if they had plans and let somebody go that was going to be in those plans, or they have plans for somebody and then they cut the plans. We don't know what's going on with that. But Hikuleo is still with the company. We just don't know what the goal for him right now is. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. Personally, I feel like they should bring Hikuleo back when they bring back the Gorillas of Destiny, which is Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. Whenever they bring those two back, bring back Hikuleo with them, and then because I'm pretty sure Hikuleo is like their little brother or something like that. So have them be their own faction away from Solo and all that, because I'm pretty sure the bloodline is basically dissolved now. Because I haven't seen Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa in a hot minute. Like I'm pretty sure they lost the tag titles and that was it. I haven't seen them in forever, but I'm pretty sure Tonga Loa is just hurt. I don't know about Tama Tonga, but I'm pretty sure Tonga Loa is just hurt. Switching over to AEW, Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada had their contract signing for the now known as Unified Championship, the Unified AEW Championship, or whatever they decided to call it. I don't know why they called it the Unified. I heard reasons of them not calling it Intercontinental was because WWE has copyrights to that. But at the same time, New Japan also has an Intercontinental Championship, and they haven't been taken down or anything like that. But New Japan's also cool with WWE, so that makes sense. So, again, their match is winner take all, Intercontinental Championship versus Continental Championship. Whoever wins that match will be the unified champion of AEW. Kenny Omega was attacked by the Elite, more specifically like Kazuchika Okada and a little bit of the Don Callis family, kind of. They smacked him in his ribs. For those of you that don't know, Kenny Omega was gone for a little bit because he had like intestinal surgery or something like that, where they had to take out a good amount of his intestine because it was just messing him up, and he couldn't wrestle for a good amount of time. So yeah, that was that. So they kind of made it look all graphic and all that. They had him coughing up blood. Okada gave him the elbow drop on the stretcher, which is pretty cool to watch. But yeah, their match is obviously going to be a banger. For those of you that don't know, they have a pretty long history of matches in Japan. They had the first ever 7-star match in Japan where Kenny Omega finally beat Okada, which I believe was for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, back when that championship actually looked really fire. I don't like the championship design they have now, but that's a whole different story. But yeah, Kenny Omega might be out of action for a couple weeks because of that. Kind of sticking with the Elite and all that. Hangman was kidnapped at the beginning of the episode. He had a little interview. He walked off. Jon Moxley was kind of just like hiding in the background as like security or something like that. And then Marina Shafir, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta all walked up behind him. They kind of just like followed him back to his locker room or whatever, I guess. And they kind of like duct taped him, tied him up, brought him to the ring, and then I guess they like threatened to hurt him or something like that. And then the ops, Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs came in. They came to save him. He cut a little promo on that, and that was the kidnapping part. He then, I can't say that part yet. That's skipping the story. But later on in the night, Swerve and Will Ospreay had their match. But I don't think they had it with her. I'm pretty sure it was interrupted by the Bucks, the Young Bucks, because the Young Bucks came in, started beating up Swerve. Will tried to help, and I'm pretty sure he got taken out as well. But then they tied up Swerve, handcuffed him to the rope. They went to go get the shoe that had the thumbtacks on it to kick him the same way that Swerve stomped one of the Bucks, I believe, at Double or Nothing to get their get back, kind of. And Will dove in the way and took that bullet for Swerve, and Swerve couldn't do anything about it. So Swerve went to go with Will to medical to check on him, make sure he's all good, And Hangman came in after that. He came up to the locker room, asked the interviewer, like, how is he, all that good stuff. And then the Bucks came in. He went off on the Bucks, asked them what they were doing. They said they were aiming for Swerve. They kind of alluded to the point that they were like, we took out the guy that was going to help, that was going to keep you from winning the AEW World Championship. All you have to do is win it now. And yeah, for the most part, Hangman denied their help and all that. And then in the background, Prince Nana was just listening over and all that with the door cracked. Hangman walked off. Nana went back in. He asked Swerve if he heard what he said, and Swerve said everything. So, like I said, the story of Swerve and Hangman getting to actually be okay with each other again, and them helping each other to get the AEW World Championship back, will be kind of fire to see. So that's that. In terms of wrestling, I don't think I have anything else to talk about. So let's go to our next segment. All right. So this new segment that I'm trying to do for you guys is going to be responding to you guys' comments. I'll try to respond to about 1 to 2, maybe 3 comments every episode, as long as you guys are commenting on the episodes and on the shorts and all that. This previous comment, I lied. It was about wrestling, but it was regarding WWE and them having basically too much talent and too much developmental. And it's kind of, it's a bit weird for them to have all that talent. And it's like, why do they have so much? And how are people supposed to do what they need to do to make their name as wrestlers when about every other company works for WWE? So you're basically just trying out for WWE at all times. So personally, I do also think WWE has a little bit too many developmentals, because you got to think they have Raw, SmackDown, NXT, which was originally known as their developmental, and they kind of just transitioned into a brand. So if we don't count that as developmental, you have Evolve, AAA, and TNA. They purchased AAA. They have Evolve as their new developmental, and then they have TNA in a partnership. So you have all this talent, all these great wrestlers. How do you have that much TV time? I get it, it's because it's WWE and they can get as much TV time as they want, but it's a lot after a while. I'm not going to say it's getting redundant, because it's not getting redundant or anything like that. It's just how so? How do you think they're going to get away with that? Because it's like, you have these guys here, these guys here. They said they weren't going to touch AAA. They said they were going to let AAA stay in their Mexican roots, and they're going to let them stay what they are. They're not going to try to WWEify them whatsoever. They said they weren't going to do that. Hopefully they don't, because AAA, in terms of their talent, is good as it is. Hopefully we get another Worlds Collide though. But Evolve, if they just had Evolve as their sole developmental, then cool. But they have NXT and Evolve. And then they have Evolve talent showing up on NXT, NXT talent showing up on Evolve, and then people get called up, then they don't do anything with them. It's a lot. Personally, I think WWE is just trying to monopolize everything and make more money, because they're in mad debt right now because of TKO. But that's a whole different story. Let me know what you guys think about WWE acquiring all these talents and all these brands and all that, and getting into partnerships with everybody. Do you think it's too much? Do you think it's too little? Do you think that they need all that TV time? Do you think they need to turn into AEW and have a show basically every day of the week and have these 4-hour long shows? Or do you think they should just stick to what they have right now, which is Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Evolve on Tubi? Let me know what you guys think about that. All right, final segment that I want to have with you guys is another kind of new segment. I did this originally when I first started the podcast, but I kind of swayed away from it. But I'm going to call it Real Talk, just because it's me being entirely open and transparent with you guys about things that go on in my life and me sharing with you. So for this first rendition of it, I want to talk about life as a content creator and personal trainer. So in terms of content creation, you get burned out after a while, especially if you have to pump out as much content as I do. So for someone who's trying to start out and really get their name out there and really get eyes on them, like I am trying to do, I'm trying to upload every day, 3 times a day, and then put a podcast out and then chop that up, put that out again into more clips 3 times a day, every day. And then I kind of have weekends off, but then still I have stuff I have to put on Instagram. I have stuff I have to put on TikTok. I have to make sure that my analytics are doing right. I have to respond to comments. So it's never really a day off being a content creator. Cause then if I'm not recording content in terms of me sitting down talking, I'm in the gym doing content there as well. And then it's the same thing with being a personal trainer. I have to fit my training into that. So it's not that I don't take advantage of the fact that I have that I'm a personal trainer and I can use that as content. I just haven't done it yet. But personal training, it's fun, but it can also be irritating. It can be frustrating. It can be all these things. It all depends on the client. You have your clients that are very, very outgoing. They're ready to go. They're ready to do it. They never miss a day. They never miss a meal. They listen to everything you say. Those are great clients. And you have your clients that are a little bit rough around the edges. They kind of question you on everything, which I understand. You want to learn. You want to understand why everything is happening. That's cool. And then you have your clients that are basically know-it-alls. They think they know more than you, which at that point, it's like, why did you hire me as a trainer if you think you know more than me, you know? And that part's a bit annoying. But for the most part, training is cool, but the content creation side of it is what really burns me out personally, just because of how much I have to pump out. So me not posting any shorts this week is because of me being burnt out, and partially because my clip generator again is being stupid. So I don't know if it's going to be like a week on, week off thing when it comes down to shorts. Hopefully it doesn't turn into that, but if it does turn into that, then you guys know why. But that's that part. If you really want to make it in life, you got to be patient. You have to be patient. Patience is key to everything, because the grind is hard. The grind does take time. The grind is a struggle. The way to the top is a pain, and you got to be able to deal with it. You got to be able to roll with the punches. You have to be able to get knocked down, get back up, all that good stuff. So if you're not able to do that, you might not be able to get pretty far in life. Maybe as far in life as you want to. And you have to be able to be okay with failing, being okay with not always being right, being okay with always being willing to learn something, because you always have to learn, especially in today's world and specifically in content creation. You always have to be able to learn something, because at the end of the day, the algorithm always changes. The trends always change. You always have to be on top of all of that. You have to learn more so you're never boring and repetitive to your clients and all that. So yeah, stay patient and stay hungry, because as long as you're patient and you stay hungry, then you'll make it. You just have to deal with the boringness of going out there and doing the same thing every single day, knowing that there's a chance that it might fail. That's the only downside. The only downside is that it might fail. But at the end of the day, you'll still get eyes on you. Somebody saw it. And if nobody saw it, at least you put it out there for somebody to see it. You took the time to do the work. So yeah, that's real talk for this week's episode. Let me know if you guys like real talk. I might try to do them every other episode or every episode, depending on how much you guys like them. Just let me know down in the comments below. But I don't have anything else for you guys this week, so I'm going to go ahead and close it out. This has been episode 18 of the Muscle Memory Podcast. I have been your host, Sean. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I thank you so much for coming to watch it every single week. I appreciate you guys so much. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, all that good stuff. I do have the Muscle Memory Fitness YouTube page up and running now. I just have to put some videos up there. But once I start doing that, I'll start linking that one as well. It'll probably already be in the description of this video. But yeah, if you want to get a hold of me or anything like that, I'll leave all my contact information down below. Just shoot me a DM. I'll be sure to talk to you guys. But yeah, you guys stay blessed. Peace.